ba mi bla bagrap. Because totally stop in this Papa God lo name lo Yesu Christo. Mi bla humbly down mi bla yedi kam. Na mi bla he come not talk. Please, Lucy wrong bla mi bla. Mi bla invite me, you come back inside. Now make him come up, now give him bla nar bla papa. Can lead him mi bla go. Joshua Blong. Joshua blow you and stop finish and stop the chair blong and finish. Now I'm got team blong and finish. Ogra sanding come up let's clear me bla. Papa God me talk thank you. In Salo Desla Papa God me bla bring him ogra bell sore. Ogra ting ting, ogra memories, how you raise him, how embrace him me bla. Ogra sanding that make him Grand Chief Michael Somare making lo mibla longen, mibla can pay him tribute, mibla lo talk. Thank you, lo acknowledge him, you big lo God, and tablo ogra life lo mibla. Na mibla talk. Thank you, lo you sing out him, Papa come back. Na commit him desla abinun bla. Na ogra proceedings belong and me come back la handle you. In salo sweet la na clean la. Na blessed name Lord Jesus Christ to me pray all same. Na you me ogra picking him blow God can one bell na talk. Amen.
Many thanks for the opening word of prayer by Pastor Ayang Melan. Let me take this time also to acknowledge Member for Karamui Sultanamane, Honorable Jeffrey Kama, Member for Gumini, Honorable Nick Kuman, and Member for Kirawagi, Honorable Barry Palma. It is definitely a full contingent from the Chimbu provincial government. Let me take this time also to acknowledge the Honorable Governor for East Civic Province representing the Somare family, Honorable Alan Bird. And at this juncture also, let me welcome our wider audience tuning in through radio on FM 100 NBC Radio, as well as those following the live stream from outside of Papua New Guinea, within Papua New Guinea, and outside of Papua New Guinea on MTV online streaming, as well as Loop PNG. As we move with the program, an address by the family member from the late Grand Chief, Right Honorable Sir Michael Thomas Somare, I would like to call up the Governor for East Civic Province, the Honorable Alan Bird, to give an address on behalf of the family.
Thank you, Callaghan. Honorable Prime Minister, members of your cabinet, governors, particularly host governor, Honorable Powes Pakop, the co-host, the representatives of the people of Chimbu, headed by the governor, and the representative of the people of Eastern Highlands, who will be coming later tonight. On behalf of the family, I'd like to give an apology. As you know, these events have been very difficult for everyone, and particularly so for the family. And therefore, we hope that we can stand in and also, with dignity, receive your tributes. While I'm here, I'd like to also thank all of the previous participants that came to pay your tributes to the Grand Chief. On behalf of the family and on behalf of the people of ECP, we are deeply moved and we are deeply honored by your sign of sorrow and your tributes to our father, the Grand Chief, Sir Michael Somare. Thank you all very much for once again showing the love that you have for this man who was father to us all. Thank you and good evening.
from the Chimbu province delegation, I would like to call up the Minister for Conservation and for Environment and Conservation and Member for Chuabe, the Honorable Wera Mori, to give his tribute this evening.
Thank you, MC. Our Honorable Prime Minister, and of course, the dynamic Governor of National Capital District, Governor of ECPIC, and thank you, all very distinguished guests. This evening, I, together with my colleague leaders from the province, led by the governor himself, the Honorable Michael Dua, Minister for Petroleum, the Honorable Kerengakwa, Minister for Police, the Honorable William Mongogo, Member for Karami Nomane, Jeffrey Kama, Member for Gumani, Nikuman, and of course the member for Kerouagi, the Honorable Barry Palmer. I feel so inadequate to stand up here to be able to convey this message and being the first speaker. But I thank you, and I'm so humbled because this evening too, we also accompanying us, the leaders from Chimbu, our former leaders, that we walked apart with our great chief. And there are numerous of them. Many of them have passed on, but there are those who are still alive. And of course, leaders from the province who are gracing us this evening. Honorable Prime Minister, on the 26th of February, our star has fallen from Mount William. There was total darkness over the Bismarck Ranges, right across to the Kubo Ranges, the Wagi Valley, down into the ravines and steep valleys. For Chimbu is a very, very mountainous province. We realized, and that it is a reality, that we have lost our icon. There has been no prime minister in the past, and I am sure that the challenges will be ahead into the future who had a Chimbu in his heart. The map of Chimbu is carved out in the heart of our Grand Chief. On this note, I would like to basically pass our sincere commiserations and condolences to Lady Veronica, Sana and Atta, and the siblings on the passing of our greatest chief who had walked on this land. We Chimbus feel so indebted to the late Grand Chief, Sir Michael Thomas Somare. We know that we are a province that is devoid of natural resources. We do not matter much when it comes to determinations and distribution of resources. But when Somare, when the great chief was a prime minister, he held Chimbu to his dearest heart. He walked with the late Say Yambaki Hokuk to bring in independence.
My late uncle, Sir Joseph Nombre, was part of his team that basically led to self-government and independence. He was a son of Kondo Mangando, who walked the talk of what Kondo Mangando have preached. We are here simply, we come simply as we are. We are a very humble people because for some unknown reasons, when our Heavenly Father created Papua New Guinea, He had put all the resources to all the good people of this country. But probably towards the end, I think He had created Chimbu. And He had led a population of 400,000 living in Chimbu and around the country, who come from a very mountainous region. But we thank you because our greatest chief had always had a heart for us. Memories will linger on, but thank you, sir, for giving us a Nombre Hospital. In your wisdom, and together with my great uncle, Sir Joseph Nombre, you have given us this hospital. And I know that I am pleading to our Chimbu leaders. This is the only icon we have, and that is your trademark. Because there is nothing that we can show for. We come here with empty hands, but we come here with our hearts. Because it was through you, our greatest chief, Grand Chief, and Sir Michael Thomas Somare, you have bridged us the Chimbus and the Sipiks, and you called us SS. I am Minister of the Bridge now, and Warakarimigo. Governor Baird, me put him to the challenge, you like me play SS Bastap yet, you like me play Brook. Minister, Wara Sipik Karimikamo, Wara Chimbu Karimiko na, just like bridge now, I'm Karimigo. But thank you. So we are simply here to acknowledge. And I remember back in 1972, I was then in Form 2 or Grade 8, now as it is called. He was the chair. He came part of the Constitutional Planning Committee to Karawagi High School. They were coming on a Thursday. On the Tuesday, we had to shake every leaf that was hanging up on the tree so that nothing could fall on Wednesday and Thursday. And in 1972, I remember, and on record, and one will correct me, in the history of this country, he is the only person who was elected unopposed in the 1972 elections. He walked us into self-government and independence. And I remember Radio Wewek, and one time he went and broadcasted. And he told the story of independence. And he said this: independence, I'm also, but you make him self-government, now behind, but you make him independence. Meaning, but self-government also, tell you like driving car, you must go stop the side belong boss crew. Now behind, you think you can drive now, okay, you go stop the driver's seat, and time you make him independence. That was broadcasted from Radio Wewek in 1972. There are other speakers who would like to speak, who would be speaking behind me, but I just basically want to simply say thank you to the great Chief, Sir Michael Thomas Somare, and his family for the special friendship and bond that he had established with we, the people of Chimbu. On this note, God bless you all. I'd like to call upon Naomi la Singauti Usat Man, leader Blomibla before Oligopenis, Tasol Wambla, Tupla Stapiet, but Naomi Singauti, Sekobalikale Gamandap. Now, we can talk Seko Balakale, and we come long 1972 election, the 1975 to be great chief, Se Michael Somare oli pusi miko na mstablo party pangu party blongen no mi kisim independence. So me like him say kamandap.
Governor Blong, you speak. Governor Blong, it is still a Mosby, Pass Pakop. Now, Governor Blong Chimbu, Michael Dua, Minister Kerengakua, Minister Willie Gol, Member Blong, Sol Nomane, Member Kerwagi, former member, Member Kamaden, because people receive young plan yet mi young plan mi no chef mi no gat maus garas mi kam nam kisimi now put mi lu web parliament na mi right hand man blongen now speak him ibla family blo mi straight. Thank you long pastor walk in good prayer walk and walk finish big man yara de people on vaccine mama blimi pa blimi tumbana blimi odin solo selgaman odin solo independent that's all just aggressive one man be papa ngoti magi mem people will speak people ang good platrulo magi mem kam bungin Papua Nuguni, kisim background belum pula, saudara belum pula, peace belum pula, orang kesanin, tahu miat Pablo ground, man pula, strong pula mantru, mi right hand man belum, where is it? Thank you, long. Please talk to me, coming up here. Thank you.
Say Kobale represents us from the Eastern half, the Boma is speaking group. And now I'd like to call upon Mr. Wagogoye to basically pay his respect on behalf of our Kuman speaking group of the Chimbu province. Mr. Wagwagoye was a member of parliament from 1977 to 1982. Thank you. Prime Minister Mbla Papa Nigi. Honorable James Marape. All members of Parliament, now all ministers, governors, now all people of Papa Nigi. Me take this la time. Me stable simple. Na all imagine all members of simple yet. Line broken gawa. All bringing me come down belong. Me magem all simple place. Na I come Salim condolence message long right honorable Sir Thomas Somare. Time belong this la country, you may seem independent. Now you belong Ramanari, round the lake blue, you are must stop here. Now this la man, I mean you know see man. Symbol pizza. Now somehow, Pawan go to big mem, now me run this la country go na. But before, I'm like independent. And I list they get big number. Now you know the party, lo Pawan is strong, Teable is strong. Now stop him close to, you know not independent, you mean not stop yourself. That's all me plan this party, me plan this party. Now leader me and Thomas Krai. Now, cover the gala too. All grand people in Burkina Faso, Albin Michael Somare long, semi independent. People are bringing 15 plan number come down na, Albin all Nambis, blow Papa Nigin long. You may book one them na, all crabim Papa Nigin na independence na, now you may stop ya. Now you mamas, you may kage, you may work money. You think of some this and ground stop of some you won't give. Australian government people look at him and Miblas are walking about some dog here, passing tell Blonina Saurani. Man, this is like place there, Mibla thing of some. Pavatru Blon, and me now, and me lose. Also, Mibla sample simply come down. All Magin, on a Bogarawa, one time members from Blaria, all fly Mibla long, simply come down. Now, Mibla, come now, Mil Maggie Milong, give him this like condolence message. Long Yubla, Minogan, pull him long plat to talk and short plat talk because Mibla Simbu he been established inside independence of Papua New Guinea. Mibla been helping leader blow Mibla Yambago we go pass, na Brugim na Mibla Simikam now, helping Pango Party, na Mibla Sim independent now Papua New Guinea today you are must not stop and Papua New Guinea, Pango Party, na National Party. Thank you. Emtasol. Thank you. That was Wago Goye, former member for Karawagi from 1977 to 1982. Without further innuendos, and for the sake of time, I'd like to call upon our governor, the Honorable Michael Dua, Governor of the Chimbu Province, to make his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Firstly, I acknowledge our Honorable Prime Minister, Right Honorable James Marape, for hosting this Haus Krai. This is the biggest